And it's going to be interesting. You're going to have New Japan Pro Wrestling contracted talent on that card. You're going to have All Elite Wrestling contracted talent on that card with FTR and Kenny Omega going over. And now you've got WWE contracted talent with Carl Anderson going over, and the specter as well of a potential debut of a former WWE superstar as well on that card, with the announcement that Sasha Banks could potentially be heading over to New Japan under her, real name of Mercedes Varnado, and potentially making her debut on that show in some way. Now that New Japan Pro Wrestling has been dabbling with the women's division a little bit, and having bought Stardom, and a former WWE title holder in her own right, Kairi, is the New Japan Pro Wrestling IWGP Women's Champion. So
I would have never, ever, ever thought that I would see Sasha Banks' name associated with New Japan. I mean, like this, it's rare sometimes to be very, very surprised by wrestling. Sometimes it can be a little, a lot of it is very incestuous with a lot of the same circles, a lot of the same companies, a lot of the same wrestlers, but I never would have thought Sasha Banks would be associated with New Japan. I think it's really exciting. Any sort of push towards women's wrestling, of course, for me is a win. It's exciting. More promotions need to be doing more for their women's roster. People want to watch women's wrestling. There's demand for it, and the talent is just getting better. So Sasha Mercedes making her way to Japan, if this is true, I mean, this is just such an exciting move for wrestling fans. Whether you like Sasha, whether you like New Japan, whether you like WWE, it's just exciting. And that's what we need. We need more exciting wrestling. I think for a little while, there was kind of a lull with WWE just having a monopoly on everything. And now wrestling's exciting again. Dare I even say it's cool again. With all these new promotions, and even the indies are really doing really well, taking off. New Japan sent us Suzuki and Jay White to come wrestle at our local Montreal indie.
Right. I was going to hit on that a little later. Yeah.
Yeah, wrestling is fucking exciting again. And if Sasha's going to New Japan, sign me the fuck up. I'm all for it. I think it's super cool. And we all know how these things go. They'll go for a bit. Maybe she'll come back. That's what makes it exciting. What's their next move? I don't want to be able to predict what's happening. I love being a mark. I love being caught off guard. I love when I'm wrong. I love when they show me something new that's totally surprising. So I'm all for it. I think it's exciting.
Well, yeah. I mean, you have to be a fan, and of course, fan is just short of fanatic, right? Of anything to really, really get invested into it and that stuff. And yeah, with Sasha / Mercedes, I think the mission of this time away from WWE was that she wanted to go out and experience different styles of wrestling and that stuff. Like, she was down in Mexico training in some lucha libre stuff, and now she's heading over to Japan a little bit and that stuff. It wouldn't surprise me if this is still something that she does for the next 6 months or even up to a year, and then comes right back in WWE and reinvents herself a little bit with maybe some new moves, some stuff that she's learned and that stuff. WWE itself, I'm sure the system, talking with wrestlers and talent and stuff like that, I'm sure that the system that they got in place there does the trick for their it's when Vince McMahon was running the company, I would say it was formulaic. Now it's kind of a switch between formulaic and chaotic, I find. It's got a little bit of the because Triple H brings in kind of a little bit of a small amount of the NXT / indie flair of the what's going to happen from a time to time basis, right? But I think that the big thing that Sasha is going to get out of this again is going to be a huge amount of experience worldwide and that stuff. And she's not the first big name superstar to do that. You look through the annals of wrestling, there's been tons of wrestlers that have worked WWE for years and then decide to leave, work elsewhere, whether it be Japan or whatever, and then come right back through the front door too. So I mean, that's always up there. So
I think it's great. It just adds flavor, make him go, let him marinate, let him come back. It's fun. Keeps it exciting.
We got another question here. We got DX Stream NWE coming in with all the questions today, which is great. We appreciate it for sure. Regarding Sasha Banks, would you prefer her signing with AEW or pull a Cody Rhodes and free agency, or sorry, master free agency, I should say? Imagine 2023 she appears at Wrestle Kingdom, Triple Mania, and All Out before returning. Wow, that's a hell of a prediction. I like that one. I would not be surprised. And I think that just further, we talked, the whole theme of this show has been, personal branding and what you can do to, and what different examples we've seen lately of personal branding has occurred. I think that would be a incredible year for anybody, regardless of gender, regardless of style, regardless of whatever. If you could wrestle the major events outside of WWE for a year, I mean, that would be insane. And then if you time it correctly and that stuff over a 2-year period, wrestle all the major events and then come back into WWE and wrestle their major events. Huh. Unreal. That
just proves the power
glimpse of money.
of
Glimpse
personal
of money.
branding. If you can do all of that, it just proves, how strong that personal brand is. I think that would be super exciting. I mean, that's my word of the day. I want to be excited by wrestling. That's what it is. It's spectacle. So, Cody leaving and going to WWE, I thought that was so fucking exciting.
Huge.
That's the whole point of this. It's fun to have more companies. Like, I don't see it as a competition. I see it as just more channels, more vehicles for excitement, more media, another media just to give more wrestling fun. Like, if Sasha can do all these things, fucking power to her. I would love to see it. It just proves that people are in demand for wrestling. There's a demand for wrestling. People want to see it. We want to see good shit.
Oh, definitely, for sure. And I think that the way this is all shaping up, I think 2023 is going to be a huge year for, like I say that every year. And, we do on this channel here, I get together with different contributors and that stuff. And we do our year in review stuff. And we'll say that, next year is going to be a huge year and that stuff. I think without hyperbole, 2023 is going to be a huge year in wrestling across the board because of all the moving pieces and that stuff. And it's one of those things where you can't turn away from a second of it. You're just being bombarded with it on a day-to-day basis, which is just amazing. But yeah, that's an insane thought, just going back to that. And again, that just blows my mind. The fact that Sasha could potentially work all of the outside major events, over a calendar year, and then come right back in and start working WWE major events and just raking it in off of that. And then, of course, with her non WWE schedule, that's insane, right? Doing the Mandalorian and that stuff.
Yeah, she is just a superstar. I mean, she's already a superstar, and she's so young. There's just so much potential I just see her exploding into like superstardom. So I think this is amazing. Wherever she goes, she's always going to have her loyal fans. I think she's a really important symbol to women. I know for me, watching her wrestle, her and Charlotte was it has such a profound like effect on my life, to see like women really fucking prove themselves. And I think Sasha's a really important symbol for young Black girls. So she has got so many people who are rooting for her. No matter what she does, she will have fans.